Rev up your engines! Today I'm going to talk about some products that can save you money. They can save you a lot of aggravation by making things last long. And in the case of this light bulb, may even save your life. Now, cars like this '07 Matrix originally came with halogen light bulbs, which are bright, but they burn extremely hot. For example, the halogens in my wife's Lexus is, as you can see, 433.9 degrees, which is one of the reasons I removed them from this Matrix years ago. It actually was melting the plastic cover. You can see, got a whole new assembly. Got it online. They were cheap. They were like 65 bucks. They didn't cost that much. It came with halogens, and I put LEDs in. Halogens burn bright by putting heat. A lot of heat burns bright like the sun, right? But they can melt stuff, they wear out faster, and they use more energy, but I mean, that's kind of immaterial. The small amount of power that headlights use isn't that much, right? People say, it's more efficient with LEDs. Well, in a house, if you switch the whole house out from incandescent to LEDs, you might save a couple bucks a month on your electric bill or something. But in a car, it really doesn't affect much of anything. The main thing is they burn out faster, they're hot, they can melt the plastic. But the old LEDs had a problem, such as the ones that I put in these. Problem is this, these are the LEDs that I've been driving for a couple of years with. They've only got LED on the back, sides, each side, right? So they tend to not disperse correctly. And they throw light kind of wildly, kind of pees people off, because you might see them coming down the road. They're shining all over the place and they blind the other people. Well, there's a new bulb out there that solves that problem. And it's these new Hawk Glow light bulbs. As you can see, check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4 LEDs in a circular panel and a nice reflector in the front. It doesn't disperse. It goes much better straight line. It's brighter and you can see better. And you can see how much better it works by these clips that are coming up that I took last night after I installed the new bulbs. I show my old LEDs. It worked okay, but sometimes people would flash their high beams because it was flashing them all over. And these new bulbs, they're much more concentrated and they don't have all that disbursement. You can see better and you're not blinding other people. Now here's the original headlights that it came with, and here's the new LED 360 degree ones. You can see they're much brighter and clearer. Now they're easy to install. They just plug right in and then you stick them in. We'll take a temperature to show you the difference. You remember how hot the halogens were? Well, check it out. These are a whopping 70.9 degrees. Now you can see it's only 44 degrees out here now, so basically they're 30 degrees warmer than the temperature outside. So let's say it's 100 outside, they might be 130 degrees. Big difference between that and the 400 something degrees that the halogen was. They work better. They're brighter, they're not going to melt the stuff, and yeah, they use less energy, but that's really immaterial. It's such a small amount of energy. The main thing is, they work really well, and you can see, they have cooling fans, so if they do get hot, they can cool themselves. Now, the old ones I took out, they had cooling fans too. I never had any problems with them, other than people were getting mad at me because they said, oh, they were just too bright, and they scattered it because they weren't around with the reflector on the front. They just didn't work as well for making it a smooth transition. You don't flash other people, and they're actually brighter. Like I said, they're a cinch to put in. I mean, you just go down, find the hole, hole's back in there. There's the hole. You put them in and you twist them on. After information, they're Hawk Glow, and these are, on these old Toyotas, the 9006s are the low beams and the 9005s are the high beams. And speaking of seeing when you're driving, you definitely want good wiper blades when you're driving down the road. They don't make noise, they don't streak, and you want them to last a long time. Well, I've been trying out these ceramic silicone blades, and I gotta say, the invisible glass ones, so far they've worked quite well. I've had them on for like 6 months. They still work perfectly fine. See on a little chart, the silicone ones, they can take higher temperatures, lower temperatures, where the rubber blades will get brittle at the lower temperatures, won't wipe right, and will crack. And at the higher temperatures, hey, they start to smudge. They also start to break down from the heat. They break down from the real cold. The silicone ones work the best. Now, you're going to pay more for these. There's no arguing that. But who wants to hassle with wiper blades. It's such a hassle that, okay, you buy the cheap rubber ones, and then like 3-4 months later, they starts to squidge. Or if you didn't watch them and it hasn't rained much, and it starts raining, and then they don't wipe anymore because the sun destroyed them. I gotta say, these silicone ones, I've been using various silicone blades over the past decade and a half. And so far, these ones have held up quite well. We'll see what happens. It's 6 months now. Let's see what happens when they get older. One of my favorite things is how they're easy to install. All you have to do is squeeze and pop the top. There's a groove here. The groove fits in the hole. Snapped in place. That's it. Now you might think it's a small thing, rinse your wiper blades, but hey, if you got all of a sudden crap splashes on your windshield and you can't see, you're gonna wish you had bought something like this that can last for years and years. We'll see. Like I say, these ones are 6 months old. I've been using silicone blades for a long time. This is a new one. I never tried this company before. I've tried the Rain-X ones and I had pretty good luck with them, but we'll see how these babies hold up. Now the last thing I gotta talk about, actually the last two things, are both in this bag. Inexpensive scan tools that actually work. Some people have been complaining, well, Scotty, you got those big Autel $5,000 scan tool. We're not gonna buy something like that. Well, guess what? Autel makes low price scan tools too. And here are two of them. They're probably the best deal in that price range for somebody who wants to work on their own car. Or at least get information on their car, like is it going to pass the state emissions test? If you don't want to spend a bunch of money. Well, in this bag, I got two Autel scan tools. One's $29, one's $59. And I'll show you, you might be real happy with one or the other. I'll start out with the $29 one. The AL319. And of course, they all just plug in the OBD port. They're all the same. Plug it in down here. And it turns itself on. And here we go. Now, we'll turn the key on. Key's on. And we'll do the ready test, okay? Scroll over, enter. It's now linking to the vehicle. Now, this is an old vehicle. It is 18 years old. So it might take a few seconds for it to respond. Knows what communication protocol to use. And it's telling you everything's green. Those other things don't pertain to this car. So it would mean it would pass the test if you had to get a state emissions test done. See here, the green light is on. If it was yellow, it's problematic. And if it's red, there's a problem. Okay, so let's see what it works for as a scan tool. I keep forgetting, it's not a touch screen. You have to scroll. There, now it's up there. Here we go. It's setting itself up again. You can see if you have codes, it'll read the codes. This is a Toyota, of course it doesn't have any, but you can erase codes. You can look at live data. You can view freeze frame. And as I said, you can do the IM readiness, vehicle information. It even shows you what modules it can look at. Live data. You can see it does quite a bit of data. Your fuel system, load percentage, coolant temperature, short-term fuel trim, long-term fuel trim, spark advance, intake air temperature, the MAF sensor, oxygen sensors. Hey, you get a lot of information here. Hey, for 29 bucks, it does a lot. Even if you're not fixing your own car, you can see codes, you can see live data. Somebody says they fixed your car, you can plug it in. The code's gone. What does the data look like? See if anything's changed. 29 bucks. You can't go wrong. Just stick one in your glove box. If you want a cheap scan tool that actually works, hey, it's probably the best $29 one I ever found. But maybe you want a little more. Here's the AutoLink AL519. The port the same, but it's got a longer cord, so I already like that better. As you can see, it does a lot more. One, it also does the OBD, which it's set up on now. It's going through the car right now. Right, it's got the same green, yellow, red warning lights, and the same IM to see if it'll pass emissions. And it does the usual read codes, erase codes, live data, but as you can see on the live data, watch this. It's a lot more inclusive, especially when it comes to viewing the data. Watch. We'll do the complete data set. But as you can see, we're looking at the MAF sensor. It does graphing. The other one doesn't do graphing. It's a big deal if you're trying to figure out stuff about your car. It does graphing. Hey, for me, the 20 bucks extra and you get graphing, it's a big deal to me. You can learn a lot that way too. For 20 bucks, yeah, you get a lot more, but it's not just that. You can also record data and play back data. So if you got an intermittent problem, you can hook this up, record data. When it acts up, you turn it off, it's recorded, then you play it back, and you can see where the glitch is. Not bad for a $59 scan tool. But it also will read the freeze frame data when you have a trouble code. You can do oxygen monitoring tests. This test is 0.115, the minimum is 0, and the maximum is 0.195. Also do some onboard monitoring tests. It's just a design monitoring of the module, and it shows the status is okay. When it gets complex, you can see it's got the VIN number in it. Shows you the calibration ID for the computer, verification number, and it also can look up trouble codes. Again, it's not a touch screen. You got to push buttons to make it go, but hey, it's 59 bucks. What do you want? Got code PO171. System to lean, bank 1. Tells you what it is. But watch this. Okay, there's the code. Now, this blows me away for a $59 scan tool. We push the question mark, and look, it tells you what it could be. Intake leak after the mass airflow sensor, restriction in the fuel system, spark plugs of excessive wear, faulty bank 1 sensor, oxygen sensor. Pretty cool for a $59 scan tool. You notice on the side here, there's a little plug that plugs into a USB. You can put it on your computer with a USB, and you can upgrade software as time goes on. They say they're going to upgrade it free forever. So if you were searching for a scan tool that's cheap, hey, I'd buy the $59 one. Hey, the $29 one's okay for some basic thing, but for 59 bucks, hey, this thing does a lot. It's not some run-of-the-mill company. And the $59 one comes with the cute little bag where you can store all the stuff. So there you have it. Some stuff I've been testing out that can save you a bunch of money and a bunch of grief. Let me check the stuff out so you don't have to buy a bunch of crap that doesn't work. Hey, let me do it for you. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.